Good afternoon, or it could be morning for some of you, but in my home it is Friday afternoon. Casual Friday over here today. Got my hat on. Go Comets. I miss you guys. You guys are doing, we've almost completed 2 weeks now, doing a great job uploading everything. Again, hope to have your tests back to you by, I'm not sure when you'll watch this video, but hope to have those posted by Monday or Tuesday. All right, I'm going to dive into lesson 97. I'm going to give you a little reprieve. This is Pythagorean theorem. Not as tough as some of the lessons you've been having. So let's go back to your archives from last year. Pythagorean theorem. You remember the formula a squared plus b squared equals c squared. All right, we use that to find a missing side on a triangle. Of course, if you have two knowns, then we can solve for the third known by plugging it into the formula. All right, so make sure you're on page 410, number 8, and I'm going to do A, B, C, D for you. Just to let you know, when they label the hypotenuse on each side, they label it by the letter that you're doing. I discourage that a little bit because it gets kids confused. When we're solving for Pythagorean theorem and for a side, I like to use A, B, C. C always being the hypotenuse. That is the longest side. This side, these sides are called your sides or your lengths. I call them the legs. This is a leg A, leg B. It doesn't matter A or B, doesn't matter which one's which. This could be A, that could be A, doesn't matter which. You're just, you know, those are interchangeable. But your C is always the longest side. It's always opposite the right angle. So if you have a triangle, the right angle will always be given, and you'll know that the hypotenuse is directly across. It's the opposite, okay? So we're going to use our formula a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And we'll apply that and then get our hypotenuse. All right, so we know 3 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. 9 plus 16 equals c squared. 25 equals c squared. Now remember from last week, we want to get rid of that square. So the square root of 25 is 5. All right? Now some of you might be saying, wait a minute, Ms. Huff, last week you told us to put a plus minus when you square. You are correct. I know you were thinking that. You do that when you're solving for an equation. But we're working with distance, units now. So when you're using distance, you don't need the plus or minus. It's just that is the distance, 5, okay? It's not, so no worries on those, but when it's in an equation and you have something squared, you will always put your plus minus. All right, so we know that C, or that hypotenuse right here, was 5 on that. Now, some of you are saying to yourself, well, Ms. Huff, that's pretty obvious. It's a 3, 4, 5. Yes, some of these are easy like this, and you can memorize them. Even the second one's an easy one. But they're not always going to be like that. I know in math counts we had a time where we had to try to memorize some of those. And, you know, I do have some of those in the back of my head, but yeah, for like this one, there's no way, I don't know what that hypotenuse is with the legs being 5 and 12. So you're going to have to apply the formula. Okay, let's do this number 2, or letter B, okay? So 6 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared. 36 plus 64 equals c squared. 100 equals c squared. Get rid of that square, so we'll square that, and then the square root of 100 is 10. Okay, not plus or minus 10, just 10 because it's units. Okay, the distance. All right, let's letter B. So let's go ahead and erase this, and we'll do letter C. Okay, 5 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared. 25 plus 144 gives me c squared. 144 plus 25, 169. Okay, remember that quiz I gave probably a good month or so ago? The square root of 169, it's a perfect square. So the square root of 169 is 13. So your hypotenuse on that one is 13. All right, and then let's do letter D. Again, we're all solving for the hypotenuse. I am going to do number 9 because the hypotenuse is given in number 9 and we need to solve for one of the legs. All right, so let's finish this one out. 8 squared plus 15 squared equals c squared. 64 plus 15 times 15, who got it? Yes, 225 equals c squared. All right, add those together. What do we get? 289. Is that a perfect square? Ooh. Yep, someone said 17. I heard it. Okay, 17 is correct. So 17 will be that hypotenuse on that last one there. Okay? All right, now, real quick, go to number 9. And the picture is a little different because they've given you the hypotenuse. How do I know? Because I'm going to go opposite of the right angle. So they gave us 6 here. We don't know what this side is. I know they label it K, but I'm going to use A or B. All right? And then they give us 4 here. So it doesn't matter as long as we have 2 knowns, and we can solve for the third. So we don't know what A is. A squared plus 4 squared gives me 6 squared, because we know the C there. I'm going to move up a little bit here. So A squared plus 16 equals 36. Subtract 16 from both sides. A squared equals 20. Get rid of your squares, so A equals the square root of 20. 20 is not a perfect square, and then you're like, okay, well, I'm done, but just double check. Can you simplify square root of 20? Yes, you can. All right, 2 times 2 times 5, the 2 comes out 2 square root of 5, all right? So that A is 2 square root of 5. Now, do a little double check real quick. The square root of 5 is going to be 2 point something whatever, times 2 is going to be a little over 4. Is that still less than your hypotenuse? Yes, okay? So smaller, hypotenuse is always going to be the larger number. So that's a good way to just spot check too. So, all right, so that was lesson 97, 98, and hopefully 99 will be coming your way too. So you'll have everything ready for next week. All right, love you guys, miss you. Again, you're doing a great job. I'm so proud of you. But I do miss being in the classroom a bunch. All right, love you. Signing off.